Good afternoon, 6th grade. It is Tuesday, May the 12th. Glad to see you for math class. Hope you guys did well on your tests yesterday. Today we're going to be continuing forward into these consumer math type lessons where we're learning about buying things, loans and interest and all that fun stuff you'll learn and need to learn when you become an adult, because money management is very important. If you don't know how to watch what you spend and how to know what's owed where, you can end up in a bad situation. So we're going to be learning about installment buying today. We're going to read our fact sheet up at the top. Installment buying is buying on time. It is used so a customer can make small payments at regular intervals instead of one large payment at the time of purchase. Usually installment buying is used on products that cost so much that the average person probably doesn't have that much cash sitting around where they can afford to spend it all at once. Usually things like sometimes a really fancy dryer or dishwasher, refrigerator, cars are usually something that are generally paid with installment buying. The finance charge is the interest and the service charge paid for the use of the installment plan. Department stores may have a finance charge of 18% per year or 1.5% per month. Some have even a higher rate. Most stores and credit card companies allow the customer to pay the entire bill at the due date with no finance charge. Some stores have a 90-day plan where the customer is not charged a finance charge if the bill is paid within 90 days. However, if the account is not paid in full at the end of the 90 days, the interest will be charged from the date of the purchase. Usually, the interest is calculated according to the balance, the amount the customer still owes. Most stores and credit card companies have a minimum amount that can be paid each month. The wise customer avoids the finance charge by charging only as much as he can pay in full. If necessary to use the installment plan, be sure the payments are affordable and be sure the payments are made on time. If for some unexpected reason, such as a serious illness, the payment cannot be made as a result, contact the company to whom the money is owed and ask for an extension on the bill. Generally, you'll encounter humans who understand that humans go through things such as disease, a death in the family, and so if you talk to them, explain the situation, generally they're pretty reasonable about extending the deadline. So we're going to go through some of these class practice problems together. I know you guys love your short story problems. Remember though, look for the pertinent information. I know sometimes we'll read a few that seem like they're half a page long, but look for the important information. Find the gold nuggets within. So let's look at problem A. Grace Allen borrowed $100 from a loan company for 12 months. She signed a note to repay the loan at $10 per month. How much interest did she have to pay? Remember, the interest is the charge or the money owed for using this installment plan. So let's look at it. She borrowed $100 for 12 months. So in order to do this, let's look at the installment plan. So how much did she agree to pay a month? She agreed to pay $10 a month. So 10 times 12 is 120. But how much did she actually borrow? She only borrowed 100. So in order to find the interest, you subtract the amount that she actually borrowed. So once you do, you find out that her interest is $20. Now let's look at B. Now not all of these will be interest problems. Some of them will be addition and subtraction also. Susan Fairbanks bought a used car that totaled $11,320. She put down, so in other words, she paid $2,500 down before she had to make any kind of installments. So once we subtract that, we'll see how much money she actually still owes. So she owes about $8,820 still, and she's going to pay that back in 36 months. So let's see how much money did she pay each month. So we got 8,820 divided by 36. Let's see here. We know we have to do our educated rounding. So let's round 36 up to 40. Can 40 go into 8? No, it can't. What about 80? 40 can go into 80 at least 2 times, so that, and 36 is lower than 40, so I bet 36 can. 36 times 2 is 72, so let's do some subtraction here. So we've got 6, 1, 2. All right. Let's try this again. All right, let's round 36 up to 40. How many times can 40 go into 160? If you remove the zeros at the end, it's basically asking how many times can 4 go into 16? That's right, 4 times. So now let's do 36 times 4. 4, 2, 3, 12, 144. So now we subtract 144 here. And have to borrow. Becomes 8, that becomes 1, those two cancel out. And now we got 180. Well, let's see here. How many times can 40 go into 180? Looks like it's only 4 times, but remember, we're talking about 36. That's a little bit smaller. Let's try 5 and see if 5 works. So 36 times 5, 0, carry your 3. Look at that, 180. So she has to pay for 36 months, $245 a month. Pretty straightforward. All right. Let's look at the next one. Nathan Dobbs has a credit line or a maximum amount that can be charged of $3,500. His present balance is $1,683.14. So how much more can he charge without exceeding this credit line? In other words, how much credit does he have left? It's a subtraction problem. So you'll subtract 1,683.14 from 3,500 to find your answer. All right. Problem D is very similar to problem A that I worked on the board. You're going to find out how much he agreed to pay per month for the next 6 months. Okay, so you know he put $100 down, so you subtract that from 350. Make sure you add your sales tax. You know, we're going to work that one out together too. So we got 450, but he also has to pay the 7.5% sales tax. 7.5% is a decimal. You guys know is 0.075. When we do our math, so it's 25, it's 22, 0, 5, 3, that's 30, 0, that's 8, oh sorry, 5, carry the 3, so that is 31, and then we know, of course, we don't have to do the 0, so 5, 10, 3, 4, 5 is, well, actually that one is incorrect. Let's see here, 457. 0.075. 2 is 22. So 0, 0, 5. There we go, I forgot to add it over. Make sure you add your zeros properly. There we go. So 1, 2, 3. So $33.75 is his tax. So we can add that back to the amount. So 450 plus 33.75 is 483.75. Now we can subtract what he paid, what he put down, which was 100. So we know that's 383.75. Now we gotta know how much he paid for 6 months. So he agreed to pay back $75 per month for the next 6 months. So we go 75 times 6. So he agreed to pay back $420. So now we have to figure out the interest. In order to get the interest, you subtract the actual money owed versus what he agreed to pay back. So once you do that, make sure you set you up some zeros so you can subtract it correctly. Borrow from there, it becomes 9, becomes 9 becomes 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 7 is 2, 9 minus 3 is 6. To borrow one more time, 11 minus 8, or sorry, that's 1, so 11 minus 8 is 3, and that becomes 0. So she agreed to pay back, actually sorry, that becomes 6, because that's supposed to be a 4 now, right? Yeah, it's a 4. Becomes $66.25. Of course, guys, you can also use your calculator on these consumer math problems, because I know it's a lot to use on your paper. I just want to show you how to do it. Now on E, you're going to add all those numbers up to get the balance owed, and then F is another interest problem. Let's see here. All right, then on page 294, on number 2, finding the simple interest, that's that I equals PRT formula. Remember that one? I is your interest, P is the principal or the amount borrowed, R is your interest rate, and the T is your time. So it's usually in years, so if it gives you in months, you're going to have to turn it into a fraction or a decimal. And then lastly, 3 is solving for X. You guys have done those before. Remember, in order to move numbers over to the other side of the equal sign, you have to do the opposite. So if it's divided by 5 on the side of X, you would multiply by 5 on the other side. And once you get those 3 sets done, that'll be it for today. Once again, I know this is a lot to take in. If you have any questions on this lesson, please get with me over mine, and I have no problem trying to help you. You guys have an awesome day.